Well, you started learning Kubernetes. Maybe you are following some courses or documentations. Some of the courses are arranged with free labs where you can do hands-on labs and test your knowledge. And you can also use the free labs around like Kubernetes labs in katacoda.com. That's more than enough usually, but what if you want to test more on Kubernetes clusters other than the lab arrangements? Sometimes you have situations like you need to test the latest Kubernetes version or kubectl version, and those free labs are not yet ready with those versions. So what you can easily set up your own Kubernetes cluster on your laptop or workstation, but setting up a full Kubernetes cluster is not required in most cases, as we have a minimal version of Kubernetes called Minikube. In this video, I will explain how to create a Minikube cluster very quickly with the help of Vagrant and Ansible. That means you will not need you will not need to required to run a lot of configurations to start the cluster. My name is Gini and welcome to TechBeatly. If you are watching our videos for the first time, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and enable notification to get latest videos. So what is Minikube? Minikube is a tool to run a Kubernetes cluster locally. That means on your laptop or inside a virtual machine. Minikube will run a single node Kubernetes cluster on your machine with almost all features you want to try on an actual Kubernetes cluster, like DNS, node ports, config maps and secrets, then Kubernetes dashboard, container runtimes like Docker, CRI-O and Containerd, and also enabling CNI or container network interface. Then the ingress, yes, almost all items you need, your hands get dirty. Is it easy to install Minikube? Not really, and depends on your experience with the virtual machines or Docker configurations. If you check the Minikube installation document, you will find very few steps, but it's not actually. Okay, you can spin up a Minikube cluster inside a virtual machines like VirtualBox, HyperKit, Hyper-V, VMware or KVM. Or you can install Minikube directly on a physical machine like your laptop or workstation using --driver equal to none option, but that needs Docker to be installed on that machine, as Kubernetes components will run as Docker containers, and sometimes we lose a lot of hours to fixing the putting up a Minikube cluster. So we find a simple solution. Let's say we need to spin up a Minikube cluster whenever we need, quickly and without any hurdles. Then we can mix up some of the solutions and implement this Minikube as infrastructure as code or IAC. We will use Vagrant to provision the virtual machine. Then we will use Ansible as a provisioner and install all those required packages. For this demo, we will use VirtualBox as a hypervisor, but you may try with any other hypervisor or public cloud solutions. Then why Vagrant? Okay, Vagrant is one of the easiest tools to provision infrastructure or virtual machines in a single workflow, and this is available for Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Debian, CentOS, etc. Then why we are using Ansible for provisioning? Ansible is super simple and powerful in terms of its usage. Once you start using Ansible, you will realize that this is simpler than shell script. Please note, Ansible is not natively available for Windows yet, and you might need to arrange something like some extra setup like Zigwin to achieve this in a Windows environment. Later I will share the shell script version of the same, but this demo we will use Vagrant and Ansible. Why infrastructure as a code? We will not go in detail as our focus is on Minikube cluster setup, but just to add, you have several reasons to implement IAC. Your infrastructure will be defined and changes will be transparent. Every time you create the infrastructure, it will be consistent. For example, you can share your infrastructure code to your colleague or different team, and they can implement their own infrastructure in a consistent way. Like I am sharing my Vagrant file with you for this Minikube demo. Then what else? Okay, less risk because everything about your infrastructure is already visible on your code, and any engineer can easily handle it. Means less dependency on an engineer. It will increase efficiency as you can focus on actual things like coding or designing rather than setting up your infrastructure every time. So let us go to the main part of this video. Okay, let's go to the actual demo session. So this is the repository where I have kept most of the sample use cases for the Vagrant. So we are talking about the VirtualBox IAC for Minikube. So I already gave the link for this Git repository in the description. So so we'll check what is inside the Vagrant VirtualBox Minikube. Okay, so if you check, nothing much to do. First we need to install Vagrant. So if you check install Vagrant, this one is what you call is a simple and straightforward. So you just need to download the version for your operating system, let's say Mac or Windows or Linux or CentOS, whatever it is. Then the installation is just click next, whatever. Yeah, it's very simple and straightforward. Then we need to install Ansible. So Ansible installation also it's very simple. So install Ansible Mac. Okay, we will try Mac or whichever operating system you are using. So you have the options for installing all you have the options for installing Ansible on most of the operating system here. So installing Ansible on Ubuntu, Debian, Mac OS. Then you can see like Solaris. Yeah, all options are there. So you just follow our based on your operating system. So in our case, you can try Ubuntu, but I'm using macOS, so I will go to the macOS, and you can see the option is using pipe. So pipe installed. Yeah, just leave it. You know how to install Ansible, I hope. So we have Vagrant installed, and also we have Ansible installed. Okay, now we will go and check what are the versions available in my system right now. So we will check here Vagrant, then okay, we'll try Vagrant minus V. Okay, it's 2.2.7. then I need to extract the Ansible version. Ansible is 2.9.11. that's fine. Now we need to clone the Git repository. So okay, I'm here, git clone. So I'm cloning the full repository because the Minikube one is a subdirectory inside that. So cd Vagrant, that's fine. Then I can see multiple use cases inside. So we have to go to VirtualBox IAC Minikube. So you can see the Vagrant file here. Then the Ansible playbook install of this I will explain a bit detail. So what we have to do is very simple, just to Vagrant up. Okay, before that we will check the VirtualBox. So I have my VirtualBox. You can see there are two virtual machines here, and I'm going to run Vagrant app. Okay, so it will take some time, so by that time we can explain the playbook and Vagrant files. Okay, just to Vagrant app. You don't need to mention anything because we already configured the type of provisioning or the provider inside the Vagrant file. So okay, it started, so it's importing the base box CentOS image. Wait for some time. Meanwhile, we will check the files. So code, then Vagrant IAC use cases, then this is our Minikube setup. So here we will see the main Vagrant file. Okay, well, minimize the console a bit so you can see the console. There are some actions going on. Okay, so the Vagrant file is very simple and straightforward. So we just use two variables for the CentOS version or the box name and version, and also the node name. So I can just give a name instead of random name. Then inside I just put something like memory, then CPU, etc., then some parameters, and also I already enabled the ports to be forwarded. Like I want to access the virtual machine ports from my host machine or this Mac. Okay, Vagrant, you can see the playbook already started. So it's running against the CentOS Minikube 1. So we will check the VirtualBox. Yes, there is a new VM already created and already named with Minikube CentOS thing. And this one you can see is using VirtualBox IAC Minikube is a directory name, then underscore the name we already put inside the Vagrant file, CentOS Minikube. Okay, inside Vagrant file I already put like what is the image name to be used, then the IP to be used, then the node name, then I mentioned the provisioning method. So we will use Ansible, and I put something compatibility method like a 2.0, then the playbook to be used. So it will use install minikube.yaml, then some extra parameters. Now we will go to the Ansible the install minikube.yaml, which is the playbook actually running in the bottom. You can see. I will check here. Okay, so I put some parameters here. What is the Minikube version to be used, kubectl version to be used, then Docker version to be used, Helm version, all those things I put inside variable. So if you want to change, you can just change the variable here in the playbook and run it. Then install system update, disable SELinux because I am using CentOS, disable swap, disable because this swap file, all these things needed for this Kubernetes thing and also for the Docker. Then we install some prerequisite, download Minikube, install Minikube version which we already mentioned in the variable, then delete the RPM, then we install the Docker repository and install Docker C, the community edition Docker software. Then we start the Docker, we add some Vagrant groups, users, then bridging, yeah, all those things. If you are doing this manually, yeah, you have to do all these steps to complete the Minikube setup. That's why I told, when you check the installation document, is very simple, but actually you need to do some steps to accomplish this Minikube setup. So we put everything in a Ansible file and initiate using Vagrant. Okay, then okay, we'll start the kubelet, then we will create the bin directory, leave it, all non things. Then we did some tricks to enable the port inside the VM externally. So because we don't have a GUI inside the VM, what we need is we need to access the Kubernetes cluster, dashboard and everything from outside world or the host machine. So what we did is this all the Kubernetes thing. If you check here, okay, we install Kubernetes dashboard components, then we create a dashboard admin user. So this admin user YAML file is available in the repository, so it will take from /vagrant, because /vagrant is a mount point where all the current directory contents will be copied to /vagrant inside the virtual machine. So you will, this dashboard admin user will be available inside. Then create a home directory for basic start page. So I just create a Vagrant, then Minikube. This is not required, but I just did some trick, I will show you later. Then I copy some example index.html file in home Vagrant Minikube index.html. This is nothing, just a link for your Kubernetes dashboard, because that one is a bit lengthy and you don't want to copy paste. No need to do that, I will show you that. Then we start kubeproxy. Then this kubeproxy we need to start and run it in the background, that's why we use NoHub. Then on the port we mentioned 8001. This port we already exported or forwarded in the Vagrant file, and we mentioned, okay, we need to export this home Vagrant this directory with a prefix of Minikube. So I will show you later. So just remember, we started the kubeproxy and we mentioned a home directory for the default static file. Then we register and see the output. Then we get the secret, because if you want to log into the Kubernetes dashboard, you need a token, either username, password or token. So we will get a token from the machine. So it's like we get a secret authenticate to Kubernetes dashboard, then we extract the secret name, then we get the actual token using the command, and this token we will display at the end of Ansible playbook. So if you check last two tasks are just displaying a static website, and another one will show a token file. If you check the playbook, you can see the playbook already finished. So it's saying access this URL for seeing the static website. So we will go to the file, then symbol. So this one is just symbol static page which we copied. So you can see this one is configured, means it's working perfectly, but we need to know the Kubernetes dashboard is working or not. So what we do, we will we already mentioned the link here. This one will be same for all the time, so I just put a link here, and it's saying, okay, you need to take the token from the playbook. So we click on the link here. Yes, it's simple, because actually it's running inside the virtual machine, but we have enabled the port forwarding in the Vagrant file. So we are accessing the Kubernetes dashboard from the host machine. So you need to copy the token to log in. So you either kubeconfig or token. Now we already mentioned we have the token. So what we do, we copy the token, so we will enter the token and sign in. Yeah, that's it. So we are accessing the Kubernetes cluster inside the virtual machine. So this is the Minikube one, just remember that one. Then we have enabled the port forwarding inside the Vagrant file, so we are able to access the localhost 8001, which will point to the 8001 inside the virtual machine. You can do all the things like normal Kubernetes dashboard here. So we have the cron jobs, cluster roles, namespaces. Yeah, you can deploy. Yeah, everything is possible. Yeah, actually that's it. So let's say if you want to, so this one is just a tricky way to access it very quickly. It's not required. If you want to do it manually, you can ignore this, skip this portion, then log into the Vagrant SSH, then start the kubeproxy manually and get the URL and this token. I just want to make it fully automated way, that's why I put in this way. Okay, now we need to create kubectl objects like ports, deployments, or all those things. So what we can do is you can either you configure the kubeconfig and access from here itself, or you can just log into the VM. So let's say I want to test only, so I'll just log into Vagrant SSH. Because I am in the same directory, it will use the correct keys to log in. Wait for that. Yep, we are inside the virtual machine. You can see uptime just 12 minutes, yeah, something like that. Oh, then pwd, it's a Vagrant. Home directory already got the bin, minikube, all those things. Then Vagrant, this is the one we told, whatever in the current directory of the project, it will copy to /Vagrant using rsync. Then we want to create something, kubectl get nodes. Yeah, we can see the CentOS minikube, it's ready, master all those things. Then kubectl get all -e. Yep, then kubectl get po. Can see all those things. Okay, simple. So that's it for the demo. Okay, so this is the setup. So let's say I want to, I'm already done, so I don't want this cluster or VM anymore. What I can do, Vagrant destroy. What will happen? It will destroy the machine. You can keep it shut down, keep it power off, save the condition, all those is possible from the virtual machine as well as from Vagrant. I just want to delete it. So what I can do is just delete it. It will confirm whether I want to delete or not. I put yes, go and check, it's stopping, powered off and deleted. No more virtual machines. What if I want to create again Vagrant app? I don't need to do anything else because it will do the same thing again and again, and you will get the virtual machine installed with minikube and all the setups, including the dashboard. Okay, so later I do testing, create Kubernetes subjects, and once I all done, I simply destroy the minikube cluster as I don't need that anymore, or not now. But I can recreate the cluster anytime without any additional work. Just run Vagrant up again and wait for the task to be completed. Easy or what? Yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you got some idea on how to spin up a minikube using Vagrant and Ansible. If you have any questions or doubts, please feel free to ask in the comment section. I will try my best to reply to those. Okay, then yes, please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel for latest videos and enable notification. Yep, thank you.